AEW recently had their first ever real round of budget cuts. It came as a surprise to many people, myself included. I'm sure Trevor and everyone watching this was surprised because it's traditionally just not something they've done. It's something, especially in the manner that it seems like these happened in. The inkling is that AEW released these talents due to not because of disciplinary reasons, which has been a reason in the past, but due to instead budget cuts, which has a lot of people talking about, obviously, like, were these things like what was this? What's going on? Because at one point,
Right.
Tony Khan said he would not be doing that ever, but here we are. Anyway, so these are the names of all of the talent who were released. You have the boys, Dasha Gonzalez, Jose the assistant, Jura Joel, Anthony Henry, who that one's especially interesting because he's injured right now. He broke his jaw and he's suffering an injury. And then you also have Gravity, Stu Grayson from the Dark Order, Parker Boudreaux, and Slim J. And a few of these talent actually took to X to, talk about their situation. Slim J, especially, like that one was a real tearjerker because he discussed how, he had signed this contract. He'd been working 2 jobs to try to support and maintain his family. And now he's going to have to find a second job. And that is the reality of these types of things.
Unfortunately, yeah, it is.
Yeah. What was your reaction when you first heard about these releases?
One, like you said, I do remember Tony Khan saying that this wasn't a practice that he was going to use. So of course, with everybody that pays attention to wrestling, I'm sure everyone had the same reaction, like, what's going on? With that being said, some of them make sense, unfortunately, because remember the talent that you don't use. You don't use Boudreaux Parker. You don't use Stu Grayson. I mean, it's better to release them, unfortunately, than to keep them and let them rot. They have talent and they can go anywhere, and be a star. It is very sad because you never want to see anyone in that type of predicament or position. But you know, best wishes to them all. It's sad to see anyone get released. No matter what sport it is, football, baseball, basketball, whatever. But it definitely sad when you see it happen in pro wrestling because 9 times out of 10, this is their main cash flow, and they gotta make ends meet somehow. So it is always exceptionally sad to see this happen.
Yep. And the other point to touch on there is, for AEW from a business standpoint, the Band-Aid's been ripped off. Like,
Yeah.
for a while, like, this was a big reason. Like, and I think, like, one of the things that talent were probably, like, excited about. Like, there's a company out there that will honor their contract as long as you obviously don't do anything, to breach it, or you don't do anything that, makes you or the company look back, like horrible things, right? Like, we've seen people like Jimmy Havoc be released for disciplinary reasons, but outside of that, this just does not happen. But now that it has, Trevor, it opens the door for future rounds of budget cuts. And
Unfortunately, yeah.
this is one of those things. We've been talking on and off about, like, AEW restructuring and, like, growing with as a growing company, like, they're going to be growing pains. And it seems like, this was something that Tony Khan was trying to fight for a while. And the realities of, the industry, and this is not justifying it because I don't believe it's justifiable. I think that if you're a company that is like AEW or WWE or whatever, right, and like AEW is going to be profitable probably by the time their next TV deal is up, and WWE is done more than don't even have profitable is not even the right term to use there, But
Right.
if you have that amount of money and you're making that amount of money, honor your contracts.
Right.
Unless the
Right.
talent want out, that's a completely different thing. Like if one of these talents were like, "Hey, I don't want to be here anymore." That's a whole different story. And if it's mutually beneficial, that's fine. But uh,
But unfortunately, that's something that's not like exposed to us. You know what I mean? That's not something that's mentioned to the public.
yeah, and the other thing is like now like this is gonna be probably a regular part of business, and it's why I've always stressed the point, man. Like like there's nothing wrong with enjoying like shows that you like AEW Dynamite is like my probably one of my favorite shows on TV. That being said, I support the talent, not the company, if that makes sense. Like it's
Oh,
always like a thing.
absolutely.
Fans are always like quick to be like, I'm on the internet. I like WW, AEW. I'm all elite. Me. It's like, okay, calm down.
Sir,
Calm down. I'm on
calm down.
the internet. You see
I'm a
that?
fan.
I'm a fan. I watch the Jim Cornette experience. Yeah.
uh,
Oh man.